my name is Faith Hufford, reporting for the Lexington Commons, and today we're at Central Kentucky Radio I, where we will be interviewing volunteers. So come on in and have a listen.
My name is Brian McCowan. I'm a volunteer with Central Kentucky Radio I. I've only been on board for a number of months, and I'm an investment manager for Russell Capital Management here in Lexington, and have been here most of my life. I started college here a long time ago, over 10 years ago, and have been here ever since. Lived in Nashville, North Carolina for a while, but Lexington is more or less home now. I'm from Paducah originally, but I've been up here a long, long time. Well, there was kind of a twofold reason. My dad, my late father, was the Lions Club's Kentucky Eye Foundation director many years ago, and then he went on to become international director for the Lions Club. And my next door neighbor, one of my favorite people in the world, is blind legally, so she had a Central Kentucky Radio I special radio that I was unfamiliar with at the time, and she explained it to me, and I thought, my family is big in volunteerism in Paducah, and I've been kind of a late bloomer, I guess. So I thought, well, it was about time I did a little something for the community. So I thought this would be a perfect fit for me. So that's why I'm here. I totally greened all of this. I've never, obviously I'm not a professional, but they first of all started us off explaining the equipment, how it operates and that sort of thing as far as recording your voice. And on these, there's some side offices over here that they actually have you record various and sundry articles, and which you can edit a bit, and then I guess they just see whether or not your enunciation of the words and all is clear enough, and whether or not your vocabulary is extensive enough, I suppose, to do the job. So that's about it. They just reviewed that and I guess decided that I was adequate. So. Volunteerism is just something special to me now, and I now understand why my family was always so involved, I suppose, because it's a feel-good thing. It's just, you know, when you volunteer, people think you're really doing something great for someone else, but to me it sounds hackneyed and trite, I suppose, but you really are the beneficiary rather than the benefactor, I think. So I receive more from it, I think, than what I give.
Okay. What have you learned? Have you learned anything?
Well, yes, I suppose I have. I probably would have a hard time articulating what I've learned, but it's kind of an exciting thing to be in the operations area and all, and see, you know, you have to be right on time, and your delivery needs to be punctual, and you have to remember to enunciate better than you normally do when we're talking every day. We normally slur a lot of words or run a lot of words together, I suppose. So you have to learn to be more distinct in your enunciations, and to make sure you pronounce each word correctly and distinctly, because you have to remember that these people are not reading along with you. They're blind, so they have to, it's only spoken voice that they're going to hear. So you have to be careful with that, I suppose, and go a little slower. I'm a little fast. Sometimes I talk a little too fast, so I have to slow down a little bit. So it's been a real learning experience, and just being with the other people in the group has been a real fun thing.
So you've made a lot of friendships.
I've made several friends here, and it's nice to learn about other volunteers and why they're here, and I've gotten involved in a couple other committees that give me a little bit more understanding of what's going on. I've enjoyed it. As long as I'm enjoying it, I will, and it's, you know, I enjoy the people that I'm working with and so forth. So it's as long as it's fun and they need me. You know, if they get more young people coming in all the time, they don't need the old guys like me, then I'll retire. But I think so far they have required. I have sat in on several on an emergency basis a couple of times. My job allows me to have some freedom. So today was an emergency situation, so I came in and read for 1 hour at the Courier-Journal. So.
Are there any obstacles or difficulties that you've run into while volunteering here, either personal or
Well, it's kind of difficult for someone as lazy as I am to get up as early as I have to get up on Monday mornings. I have to be here before 8 o'clock. It's an 8 to 10 gig, so it's a little tough for somebody with my sleeping habits and my TV watching and reading habits to get up that early. But no, the big obstacle, I guess, for everybody, all of us, is especially in today's world, the terrorism stories and whatnot, trying to pronounce some of these Arab names as best you can. And there are lots of there are lots of names on the world stage that like Ahmadinejad and things like, names like that. They're foreign to us, and we don't say them every day. We might hear them and recognize them, but until you start trying to pronounce them, it's a little tougher than it appears. Be forgiving next time you're listening to someone on the radio.
Did you have to pronounce the name of the volcano?
I purposely avoided it. The other day, that name appeared on my article that I was reading, and I said the Icelandic volcano. See, I think you should use a little creativity in delivering the news so that it's not too offensive to anybody, because I have no idea how to pronounce that volcano's name.
No, I think it's a big debate that everyone.
Yeah, I would assume. Well, as I mentioned, my father and my family, they've always been big on this sort of thing, volunteering their time, and we've all been reasonably generous with our pocketbook. So I think that charity is part and parcel to all of us as human beings. I think we have to open up our checkbook occasionally and write those checks, even if it hurts a little bit. And again, as I've said before about volunteering, as the giver, you receive a lot more, I think, than the receiver.